Welcome to Poker for Muppets. It's me, as always. It's Pluto Man, and I'm going to run through a pot limit badugi tournament I played last weekend. Before I do that, wish you all a very Merry Christmas. It is now Christmas Eve. Bit of a soggy, damp, dank Christmas Eve here in Timișoara. That's where I am, in the west of Romania. But it's not cold. It's actually really warm for this time of year, I would say. Anyway. So I already played two tournaments this morning and they didn't go so well. The first one literally lasted 5 minutes. The second one, well, that lasted a lot longer. I managed to bubble it. It's time for bubbles. Christmas, isn't it? It's bubble time. Like to get the old bubbly in. Anyway, I managed to do that this morning after making a fantastic start too, and just didn't hit. So anyway, this was. You can see this is actually single draw, but I was putting up a couple of hands of the single draw that I. Well, this one here. First, before we get onto the badugi, this one I misplayed pretty badly. The reason for this is this guy Lyrica has not the foggiest clue what he's doing. Not a Scooby. Let's be honest. That's why he's red. This guy's orange, and they look kind of similar here, but they're definitely different colours. This orange means he's a good player. This one means he doesn't have a clue, and I make a big mistake here. He decides to shove here, and I go and fold. You'll see that in a second. Um, and The reason I fold is because of these two guys behind me. I actually cover them both, and I should have just put all my chips in. If he doesn't know what he's doing, well, it should be free money. If either of them come along and they've got a pat hand, well, still got outs to beat them, haven't I? Just if I shove and these two fold, then I will pat my queen because he's going to probably have a flush or some such crap or a straight or something, right? um, or whatever. So I'll probably pat my queen there. Like if he really doesn't know what he's doing. So anyway, I make a mistake there. I just acted on instinct because of the two people behind me, but I needed to get all my chips in there. If I end up losing, well, still have some chips left. Because cover everybody. Um, Next hand I kind of get involved with. The tournament's been going for about half an hour at this point. Got a big draw because of a couple of reasons. I mean, one, my draw is good. My draw is very good, and there's a bit of dead money. So I decide he got anyway. Also, he went pretty small, so I decided to three bet to like what was it, 699. There you go. Gone almost four times the size of that raise that he made. And anyway, I decide to, well, of course, I draw and I miss, and then I come out and bet after the draw too. As you'll see, go for about 60% of the pot, and he thinks about it a little bit, I think, and he actually makes a call. He didn't really think that long and hard about it. So clearly I had the best draw, I think that was fine what I did there. Sometimes, of course, he's going to completely miss. If he has a pair of threes or a pair of twos or a queen or might struck or queen, I don't know whether he'd call with that. So I don't know whether he had the 10-6 to start with or the 9-6. I'll never know about that. But presumably he had one or the other. He could have had the 10-9 even. It's possible. Anyway, so we've got another 8-7 draw here. Another one. Yet another one. I just decide to max it out here. I can just take it down now. I get a little bit of a chip up. I lost some chips before. Don't have a big stack now. Now this table, it's like everyone just folded there. This one here on the cutoff, I've got a really big draw, 5-2-1. He just limps in, which is pretty bad, and I raise, and I don't pot it. I could do, but I kind of want to keep at least one of these guys in, so I got a little bit less than that, 3.5 times. So 105, pot would be 135, two card draw here, let it go. I mean, if I came in, would it be that bad? Probably wouldn't be great. Anyway, so he draws one. So I wonder what sort of one card draw he's got. Now it's funny this. People who limp in, some people limp in anything that's not a pat hand, which is so atrocious it doesn't even, it's beyond words, it's that bad. But yeah, he might not have a very good one card draw. And anyway, so I'm actually going to bet this on the flop no matter what. Even if I miss, if I hit, doesn't matter what I hit, because I feel I'm ahead of him most of the time. So I'm going to bet this hand no matter what. Now I'm not betting all the hands that I raise. So if I have like 7-4-3 and he limps in, I'm still going to raise before the draw because I want to drive out other people. But if I then miss, well, probably just gonna check behind here, and worse hands than that too. And why is it that whenever I start a video, somebody sends me a message? It always happens, and somebody sends me a YouTube video. No, 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 no. I want like a message would be really. That's not a message. That's not a message. That's a video, right? You want to send me a message? Send me a message. I'm not a fan of. I treat it as a bit like spam when people send me videos and things. Unless there's some sort of accompanying message with it. If it's just the video, for me that's spam. I'm sorry. It's how I treat it anyway. Um, yeah. Um, anyway, he checks, and obviously I'm going to bet this because I've hit fantastically well. I bet just over half the pot, barely over half the pot. And now what's he going to do? One of three things. He's going to just fold. He's going to call. Or is he going to do something else? We will see. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Was he pretending to think about it? Let's see. Um, while this is all going on, I'm folding hands here, left, right, and centre. So anyway, that was interesting. So he check raises me here, which is kind of interesting because I'm not always going to bet that. Betting half the time, maybe a little over 60% of the time or something. Yeah, 50 to 60 probably. And I decide to three bet when he raises me. I could just call. I don't think it'd be terrible to call. And then if he comes out firing again on the turn, well then I'll maybe call or maybe get it all in that time. I don't know. If he, I'm actually by three betting, I'm going to fold out some better hands there for sure. So that's the only sort of kind of negative with that. Fold out some worse hands. That's what I mean. So I'm not going to fold any better hands. I'm not going to fold out any better hands with this. I don't think. Fold out some worse hands though. So anyway, he happily just gets it all in here. And I just have to hope I've got the best hand here. And I don't know what percentage of the time I'm going to have the best hand. Like half? Something like that? Maybe a little over. I guess it's a little over because the fact that he didn't raise before the draw, you'd think he'd be more likely to raise if he had like a really strong three-card hand. So it's possible he actually started with a three-card hand that can't even make a hand as strong as this, as a badugi, is possible, right? But I don't know. I don't know him well enough. Some people just never raise before the draw unless they have a pair hand. Some people don't even raise their pair hands sometimes. It's just terrible. Anyway, and here's the big reveal. Oh, and I just, by the barest of margins, win the pot. And I double up. I get his bounty because I actually had covered him by 30 chips at the start of that hand. Very early stage of this tournament. And I get knocked out of the single draw, by the way. So, showed you a couple of hands from there that got involved with. So this on the cut-offs. My hand's not great, but it's 8-6-2. Definitely good enough to raise. Definitely good enough to raise. And I get a call. And how do we go? So how many does he draw? Draws two. So when I draw one, this means I'm actually gonna bet the flop here, no matter what I hit. Doesn't matter. Go 2-1. Always bet. So this time I do hit something. I don't hit a badugi, but I improve. I greatly improve my three-card hand to the point where I can make an absolute monster now, whereas I couldn't with the 8-6-2. But as I said, I'm betting regardless. So now we go to the second draw. He calls me, which is kind of interesting. So he's probably got some kind of one-card draw. That's what he looks like. He's definitely got a one-card draw. He's drawn one, right? So he checks. Could bet this again. But the funny thing is, I don't think I'm ahead. I'm probably like flipping with him now, something like that. I mean, I don't even know whether I'm going to be ahead 50% now. The fact that he called me, drew one. I mean, sometimes he's going to go for a check raise here. Uh, so so I just check it back. The river would be interesting if I miss, or if I improve a little bit, if I improve to a better three card. Obviously, if I hit a monster badugi, that makes it all plays itself. But let's see. So we go to the last draw now. Um, Draws one, I draw one. That's interesting, right? So I hit a king, and obviously I've got a badugi. I want to get some value for it. He's probably got a reasonable three-card hand here, so I've got to get some value for this. And decide to bet. Don't go too big. 40%, just over 40% of the pot. He calls me, which is nice. So got a good stack at the moment. Absolutely nothing here. And let's see what he calls me with, or she, as it might be. 6-3-1. So he actually has a slightly better three-card hand than me, and I just pulled ahead of him there on the river. So I was very lucky. So now, by the way, if you're go for 50 minutes in the tournament, 36th hand, it's kind of going slowly, isn't it? And but I also haven't had a lot of hands. I've only seen the draw 7 times. This is clearly going to be number 8. Well, I might not see the draw. I might. So I might take it down before the draw, of course. But then I'm showing this hand, so maybe I don't. Anyway, he pots under the gun here with his starting stack. He just first hand he plays, I think. Big dice. Nice if he came in as well. Doesn't though. What about Baloo, who's got a big stack? He re-raises. So what do I do here? Obviously my hands. So I'm not getting. I mean, I'm now at the point, so that there are times when you can fold a hand like this after the draw. Trouble is now, because I'm now facing a 3-bet, the pots can be pretty big already. I don't think I'm getting away from this hand at any point now. It's too good to fold or anything now. So, and he's going to have one card draws here a lot of the time. He's fairly aggressive before the draw, from what I can tell. I've seen this guy probably relatively aggressive as well, actually. So I feel pretty good about just re-raising, 4-betting to 3,000. Got almost half my stack in there. I can't fold now any stage in the hand, because I'm definitely pot committed, which wouldn't necessarily be the case if it was just if I raise, someone calls, then then two people call and then they go hammer and tongs or after the draw, then I can get rid of I can get away from it. So he draws one. So I expect him to be pat a lot there. Just if he's calling, yeah, I expect him to be pat a lot. But he's calling, so that's really interesting. He's pat. Interestingly, he didn't go all in here. So what the hell's he got? And then I pat, right. So obviously the pot's big. So I can't get away from this no matter what. And I just snap call, obviously. It looks like he might have hit something there, in which case, good luck to him. I'm out. I'm out. Don't know what he's going to do. It's interesting. If he's not pat, then was he trying to get me off my hand? He's not going to manage to do that because the pot's far too big for that. So, what happens? He draws one. Now you draw one. So that's a little bit ridiculous. What you did there, right? Just donking there, because I'm not going to fold. The pot's got too big. So he draws. I actually think folding to the 4-bet is the play there for him. He needs to fold to the 4-bet pretty much with anything that he intends to play as a pat hand there. If he doesn't think he's got a good pat hand like 4-bet, he's probably got to let it go. Anyway, draws one, so he's probably got outs to beat what I've got. But he didn't. This is the bizarre thing. So it was really weird. Like your one card draw was shockingly bad, and so was yours. You broke. I mean, at that point, breaking is probably okay because I'm certainly going to have hands where he's drawing live there. But I don't know what he had, like Jack 9, Queen 9, whatever. Um, think he had to fold that before the draw, frankly. And do what you were doing there. So I benefit from that. A nice pot there. Look at it. 16,000. Isn't that beautiful? So, and fourth place at the moment. Been now going for an hour and a half. So I'm not showing many hands because I did not play many hands. I had relatively few decisions to make. It was kind of, so I feel like this is good enough to get some money in with on the cutoff. Um, see what happens here. It's going to be a bit awkward if I get 3-bet. Might just have to, I don't know, call or what? I don't know. check. Obviously, I just max now. He calls, which is kind of interesting. Obviously, just put the remainder of his stack in, and I hope I end up with the best hand here. Still got 14,000 if I don't, which is nice. And he had a good draw, which is kind of what I expected. Luckily, I hang on. I was only a 53% favourite there. So now this one is kind of a funny hand, this, because you can break this sometimes. Multi-way, you're probably going to want to break this. Draw to the 7. Heads up, though, you're much more likely to. And now, well, not heads up, but I can certainly raise, hope maybe get it heads up, or even if he goes all in, I'm probably just going to hang on to this one. But anyway, he do go heads up, and he draws 2, which is lovely. That's the thing about, heads up, why you want to pat something like that, because you just have a lot of fold equity there, or reasonable amount of fold equity, and you just fold it, so that's good. Doesn't know you've got a king. 4-2, decent 2-card draw. Sometimes I'm going to fold this, but given that I've got plenty of chips, I want to play the hand. Now, though, when someone just pots like that, just let it go. It's not worth it anymore. So I just make the fold. So I think I do anyway. Yeah, make the fold. Cadorsi, almost all in here. Captain Bong, interesting name. And spelling it with those Q's. And so it goes 1-1-1. None of them have many chips. And it goes 1-1. Well, come on, come on, come on, come on. Do something, do something, do something, do something. 2. God, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? And now Captain Bong checks. Draw 1 on the last draw. 1, 1. 2 again. Very weird. 5-4-3 wins it. I think I look at him and I think I figure out that he doesn't know what he's doing at all. But, anyway, now, so somebody's won a big pot on this table just a moment ago. And I've got 8-2-1 in the big blind. It's not fantastic, but I'm obviously going to have to see the draw unless someone goes, 3 bets. If you 3 bet now, maybe I'll probably let it go. But otherwise, I'm going to want to see the draw. Yeah, there we go. Just cool here. His draws 2. So now, because he drew 2, I then decide to bet just for, just because I'm a card ahead. He doesn't know I don't necessarily have a badugi. Anyway, we go 1-1. I expect he's got a better hand than me now. Definitely expect that. But the fact that I've got the 2 and the ace means that I have 2 ways to win. If he hasn't got a badugi already, well, there's 2 ways I could win. One's by hitting a badugi. One of them's by improving my 3-card hand. So having ace 2, 8-2-1 here is better than having, say, 7-6-4. Definitely, right? Definitely better. So I think a lot of people don't realise that even 6-5-4 is not as good as this. Because I'm 6-5-4, I'm probably behind him anyway. 8-2-1, I'm behind him, right? But the 8-2-1 has more ways to outdraw him if he's got a better 3-card hand, which he's going to have. But let's see. I mean, he might not. I'm sort of preempting. So yeah, he does go and bet here. I'd call getting like 3-1 or something on my call, aren't I? So I have to call there, I think. There's also the bounty in play. So I go and hit 4-2-1, which is very, very nice. Now, if he's pat, though, of course, it doesn't matter. Is he? A lot of time and yes, there you go, 7-6-1. So as it turned out, 7-6-4, sorry, 7-5-4 or 6-5-4 would certainly have been better than this because I was ahead. I would have been ahead, but yeah, didn't actually expect him to have a hand as weak as that, honestly. But luckily I moved ahead of him with that hitting the 4 on the last draw. So I take him out. I've now knocked out 4 people, so I've made a good start in terms of knockouts. So start well, I'm already an hour and 50 minutes into the tournament. It's been said a lot of it's just not playing a lot of hands. Anyway, so he goes to 1,000, and I feel like I want to re-raise this. As soon as you find you're up against a min raise, and you've got a hand as strong as this, you kind of really want to put in a proper raise. So, of course, he could have a badugi, he could have a monster, who knows? I decided to put in this proper raise. Is he going to do Cadorsi? I'm pronouncing that name correctly. Not quite sure, but let's see. Taking his time a little bit, but maybe he's not. Maybe he's just on other tables, and but he does fold. And Castro gets it all in. So now I'm expecting him to have a badugi, or a really good 3-card hand sometimes. I mean, people do crazy stuff and just want to get it all in. So anyway, 5-4-1 though. I miss, and he's pat, and I only have 2 draws left to beat him. And look at that, so I've got 8-5-4-1 now. So I mean, I'm not a lot of badugis better than that, so probably got the best hand now. And I can happily pat the 3rd draw. He pats as well because he's got a good hand himself, and I'm lucky to win that. I'm only going to win. What would it be? Less, just over 30% of the time, 31, 32, something like that, I think. Off the top of my head, against like a rough 9 that he has, right? Yeah. I know a 10 is about 63%. So Jack is 57. I think a 10 is like 62. And then a 9 is like 68 or something. So 68% favourite, so about a 32% chance for the underdog, something like that. So I was lucky there, obviously. And now I have 31,000 in chips. Also get his bounty, $1.50. He must have knocked out somebody himself. And it's a 5th knockout for me. Now I've got 751. I think that is actually the next hand. And I think there's an ambulance going by outside. You can probably hear it. A lot of noises today. We have had goat men outside. Do you know what a goat man is? Well, several goat men. People dressed up as goats, but they call them goats, but I wouldn't really say they're goats. They're sort of like just multicolored tissue paper. They sort of prance around, and they, toot a trumpet. There's one guy tooting a trumpet, another one banging on a drum, and another one with bells, and then someone shouting or whatever. It's supposed to be singing, but usually it's more like shouting. And like today, they were in the courtyard that we have, or the car park, really, outside, and I actually took a little video of them outside my window, and then they didn't gesture. One of the guys actually showed me money. So I want some basically give me some money. I didn't give him money. He was actually tipping it down, so I probably didn't want to go outside at that point. I felt bad that I didn't give him some money, or them some money. But that's obviously, you know, yeah, not so good for them on a wet day, getting money. Anyway, I've got sort of 31,000. I've got also this pretty big stack here with about 22. 3rd place at the moment, so we've made a very good start to this tournament. But I say keep using the word start, but look how far we've been going for. How long we've been going for. Late reg has gone. 27 people, that's all we're going to get. And really got to make this position count. Don't that often end up in a position like this at this point. So, yeah, so it's been kind of slim pickings of late with poker. One of the problems has been actually getting to play. I've just been a little bit too busy renovating the bathroom in this place. It's been kind of had people here a lot more than normal. So I live by myself, so sometimes I often do get the chance. Well, in theory, also work. I've had a lot of work, so you need a few hours in a row that you can be absolutely sure that you're not going to be interrupted, not have any commitments, and then you can happily play. But haven't had much of that, many opportunities. But today is Christmas Eve. I'm not having any lessons today, and so played 2 tournaments today. I'm going to play some more, I suppose. A couple more maybe today. Read a book before then. Email people, that kind of thing. And Christmas itself's going to probably end up doing some reading on Christmas Day. Just anyway, how do we go here? We go. So I draw two. I had 952, and I've got 952 still. What do I decide to do? I check again. So we went 2-2. We go 2-2 here, and he checks back. So now I decide I'm just going to draw one. I'm going to bet this no matter what, and I'm probably going to snow as well a lot of the time, maybe. But because we go 1-2, I'm definitely going to bet now. Bet 60% of a small pot. See what Reseda does. He just folds. I didn't have a great hand there, but I was able to, win a little pot, which always helps. And I remember this. 10-1. 10-1 at night. I've actually got the sound on now. Turn the sound off. But the bubble burst, and that I was falling asleep. I think I was like most of the way there, and suddenly that jolted me back into action. I hadn't been playing a lot of hands, but look, I've got 6 out of 7 showdowns, so been doing very well winning showdowns. Got a big draw here. Cover everybody. You by not so much. By less than 5,000, so I don't really want to be tangling with you. But the bubble has burst. 23 get paid, so got a 3-figure number of people who bought in, and I decide to go relatively small actually, considering there's a limper in here. Oh, he folds, and what do you do? Cool. So got a big draw. I have a blocker here in the 4 as well. Just gonna now on the flop, so I'm gonna go checks immediately. So I just bet this again, just for value, just for pure value. Want to get all this stack in. It's $4 to have it. $4 in bounties just sitting there, right? So it's definitely worth having. So in the tournament, it's almost the value, the buying of the whole tournament. He's got in bounties there. So anyway, we go 1-1 again. And I won't be. I'm not going to pat this no matter what. Certainly when he just comes out, donks into me like that. I'm not going to be patting this. Although I do have position on him, so I can see what he does. But keeping the king here in any circumstance, I think would be terrible. So he just pats, as I expected to see most of the time. So let's get rid of the king. And I get very
wow.
there. I say, oh wow, I'm very lucky. I've got the smooth 7 there. Big hand, and he actually had a pretty strong hand. So I managed to take him out as well. So I've been running really well in this tournament. Don't forget that. And I don't think I've had a lot of big decisions. I think it's been kind of smooth sailing, I suppose. I've had times when might not have, I might have got knocked out actually fairly early on. But now we've been going for more than 2 hours,
Mm.
and get his $4 in bounty. So I've got a good um, record so far in this tournament of getting bounties, which is kind of one of my weak points, I would say in general. Anyway, what's he going to do? He's got hardly any chips. He's got a 250 bounty. Um, okay, blinds are about to go up again. Go up to 400 and 800 very soon. Not big increments here, so he just calls. I raise him. Let's get it just for value. Let's see what he does. He calls. Okay. Let me go 1-1 here. What do you do here? And I bet again just for pure value. And if he check raise me all in, I'm going to call. He just folds though, so that's okay. Blind's going up now. So we just come back as a break here. It's 1:01 a.m. Getting a little bit late. On the cutoff here with the ace-2. Cover everybody. Some fairly significant stacks here though at this table. Recede, I'll be happy if he just calls me. That's alright. Well, or goes all in, that's fine too. See how many cards he draws. 2 as well, which is nice. And like go and hit a badugi. Wow. So 10% of the time or thereabouts you're going to hit a badugi on a 2-card draw. Half of that will be a jack or worse badugi. 10-9 is like the median. If you badugi after drawing 2. So I'm probably kind of top 3% or something of hits you're going to get. So 97% of the time you won't hit as well as this after drawing 2. This is a really big hit, this. 2 again on the second draw, happy to see that. Now if he draws 1 though, now he's got outs to beat me, almost certainly. He does draw 1, and luckily he doesn't hit one of his outs. He had a big 1-card draw there. And there you go. 15 left now. 8 on this table, 7 on the other, obviously. 952. I had that already. 119th hand. So haven't been racing along, have we? Not been racing along. 8 of 9 showdown. So doing very, very well at showing down the best hand. Very lucky, honestly. Really much more to it than that. So he just calls. Interesting. I decided to draw 2 because we're multi-way. I might have kept the 9 otherwise. The fact that we've gone multi-way, and he just bombs it. And I've let it go. Okay, next hand. Oh, big hand here. It's number 16, I think. There are 15 sixes or better, and this is the best hand, best 7. So I'm just gonna hardly has any chips. And he gets all his stack in, which is great. Wouldn't mind someone re-raising here, and then I can just put as much money in as I can. So 2178. That's a really weird raise size, min raise there. And what do? I go just go to 6,000, do I? Okay. Don't go very big actually. It's a bit awkward this because, well, if he ends up making a better hand than me, that's just bad luck. He's got a lot of chips here. So obviously, occasionally I'm going to go broke here. Very occasionally, but occasionally he'll outdraw me even with a hand as strong as this. So this is just for pure value. How many? How many? Just 1? Okay, I'm not going to get away from this. So I bet 11,000. Maybe I shouldn't have gone as big as that, because then I get rid of him. I've gone a bit smaller, he might have called. I think maybe I should have gone smaller. Okay, so no discard from him. And well, that's just so funny, isn't it? He's been hanging around here for quite a long time. He'd knocked out some people. So he's got 250 in bounties, which I go and take. And he's got that. And maybe he understands the different suits but not the different numbers, or some very weird thing going on there. Also, the way he was playing, he had this tiny stack. He never got his chips in with it until just then. Very, very weird. So another 250 for me then. 531, big hand, big draw. Second place at the moment out of 14. Got to get some money in. Enough to put him all in or her all in. He or she wants to call. He does call. So pretty good situation here for me. 1-1. I miss. What now? One again. One for me. I miss again. Well, sometimes this is going to be the best hand even if I miss. Let's see though. Last draw now. So miss again. Oh, his draw was blooming terrible. Tell you what. 10-8-3. Gosh. Anyway, so I win that as well. So it's my ninth knockout. Wow. Don't normally do anything like as well as that. I've got 10. So you get a so I actually got about 18, nearly $19 worth of bounties here. So, and I want to in second place. So really I'm thinking about like one of the top positions, first, second, third place, that kind of thing. Anything else would be a little bit of a disappointment at this stage. So anyway, cover him by quite a bit. See what he does. Calls. He's got a one card draw here. I just check it because he drew fewer cards. See what he does. Checks. And now I miss. So my draw's not very good, and he's not showing a lot of strength here. Probably still got a better draw than me most of the time, though. So because of that, I decided to just bet. And he's either going to fold now. So he calls, which is kind of interesting. My hand's not very good. So I just pat it, right? It's the most fun in any draw games to just pat your hand without having a made hand. It's the most fun you can have in the game. And what does he do? He folds, which is lovely. Okay. Don't do it very often in these pot limit games because it can often be very not amazing for you if I feel like this is where things start to go a little bit wrong. So this guy here just min raise. I fold my eight draw. I think that's fine. Um, but yeah, I think in the limit games, especially in the limit cash games, I remember them. I remember them. That was nice. So I think I make a mistake here. I think I make a mistake. This Metallica fan guy is raising a raising a wide range. I feel I need to three bet him. He also has a lot of chips. It's making me not want to play so many hands against him. Okay, I still have him covered, but you don't want. I should be more willing to tangle with him than I was, honestly. So this time I needed to re-raise there. Okay, how many? Two. Yeah, you see, there you go. I had a queen. Not gonna hang on to that one either. So I bet about half the pot. What does he do? He calls. Now we go 1-1. Ugh. Decide not to bet this. Do I or do I bet? Which I can't remember. I just check it back. Then we go to the river. Again, I miss. I decide to bet relatively small. Um, for value actually, but I don't know whether that was a wise bet. He had a better three card hand, and he ends up winning the pot. Dropped a little bit there. Ace three, I would next one over for sure. All those blockers there. Hmm. Anyway, 70,000 for him now. 742, that's plenty. Raise it up. What does he do this time? Come on, come on, come on, make your mind up. Over a minute, he just folds, and the other guy folds too, so big blind this time. 6-3. I'll make some notes on him. So so he just calls. I think I decided to raise him actually. And and he three bets me. That's interesting. The limp re-raise. I don't see that very often. Because my draw's really quite crap, I think I decide to fold here. Yeah, bottom my range here pretty much for a one card draw. So I just let it go. A little bit crazy, but that's how he decides to play it. Problem is, how do you balance that, if you limp re-raise in this game, because yeah, it's because the game is up or the jig is up as soon as you get to the first draw, and you either have to draw or you pat. It's the difficult thing is that you can't just have yeah, you can't just disguise your hand completely. Right, fold there. 7-5-2, that's enough under the gun. See what happens. 158th hand of the tournament. I haven't actually played a lot of hands, you see. Just take that one down. 10 and 12 showdowns. Under the gun, that's no good. Just 3 of 8, which means we're going to get to the final table now. Is that right? This is the final table. This is the final table. Yeah, we're on the final table. Right, make the call here. Ooh, so he's pat, which is a bugger because I've hit such a good 3 card draw here. 3 card hand rather. Last draw. Last draw. I've got one draw left by the looks of things. Um, Bets, and I just fold. Okay. 4th place out of 8. Big draw here. I've had a few of them, but then I'm scooting through all the hands that just nothing happened. In fact, it's been a funny sort of tournament. I don't think I've had too many decisions to make. I think it's just been, a lot of actually hitting really well. Decide to raise to about 3.5 times. I'll just take it down, which is interesting. See, I'm in 5th place there. 32 bucks already for the guy in, so 32 bucks in bounties, right? Yeah, for UTZ. Wow, amazing. And out of the 6, 3 of them are from Romania. Wow. 3 of the 6 remaining people, we're down to 6 now, are from Romania or living in Romania. So I've got 3-2-1. Got a big draw. Don't know what Farok is, but something Hungarian anyway. Um, yeah. Decide to bet this. You fold, that's alright. So this one here, I'm in the big blind. I've got just the naked 2. He's going to just limp in here, and I draw 3. And it's so weird, this. He draws 1, I draw 3. I go and hit a badugi. He bets into me here. I call, and he pats. I could have raised him, or I could have folded. I think they're probably all okay. Um, he bets 4,000. That's such a small bet, isn't it? I needed to raise him there a lot of the time. But then it's difficult when you hit such a bad hand. It's exactly the sort of hand if you are going to hit a badugi after drawing 3, exactly the sort of thing you're going to hit. So, what do I do here? In the small blind, the under the gun guys just min raised, just min raised quite a lot of stuff. I go and 3 bet. and hope I have the best hand. Hope, hope, hope. Draws one. I'm gonna the best hand 57% of the time here at the showdown. If that's where we end up, he folds. That's very nice. So next one, I've got in the on the button here, and I just fold. Well, so Tiger hangs on, wins that one. So I don't get the chip up that I could have had. 761, that's enough to open here if it folds round to me. Does. Woo! Okay. Let this one go. 190 first hand. So it's not been a quick tournament. We're going for about 3 hours 20, including 4 breaks actually. Let this one go. Clearly. So UTZ with a whole load of bounties there. Must be fun. Well, I've done pretty well for bounties as well. And next hand, we've just got the 2 and the 5. And okay, so he raises there. I decide, what do I decide to do? So then the call, 5.5 to 1 on a call, right? Because I go and hit 8752. So immediately hit badugi, kind of even a little bit stronger than the one I hit before. Last time I drew 2 and I hit a 9. So this is even better. 8752. So let's see what happens. So I just check because and what happens to this tiger guy? Just comes out and bams it, and what do I do here? I feel like the only thing I can do here, I feel my hand's a bit too good to fold, and if he's got a better hand than me, so be it. But I think actually folding here wouldn't be terrible in these sorts of tournaments, these online tournaments. Maybe if there were, people were different, then you could fold here, but no, I'm gonna go with this one, get all my chips in. It's the only way to play it, I feel. Get it all in here. Metallica fan is gone. Ooh, I get called immediately, so look how big this pot is. Oh, I'm not liking life so much now. Oh, 8632. He just beats me by a tiny margin. Got 6,000 in chips. I have a badugi. Okay, decided to just get it all in here. So being decimated. 2 2s, the chance is going to hold up. Unfortunately, he draws. He just bets the pot. We go 1 1. Nobody's pat. Now then, it looks like somebody's probably pat. See? And would you believe it? There's a better king than me. So hang on to his king. He's only going to beat it if I had a worse king, which is exactly what I did have. Wow, interesting. Yeah, well, there you go. That's me. Finished in 6th, which is a little bit disappointing. I did well for the bounties, got, whatever it is, $18.70 something, whatever it is. But yeah, it could have been so much better, couldn't it? But yeah, there you go. Make a fast start sometimes, and you can't quite capitalize on it. and that's what happened there. It's also what happened today in badugi too. I made a good start to that as well, but did get some bounties, but I think I ended up finishing 12th, and the top 11 paid. Isn't that nice? Uh, so yeah. Anyway, that will do for me. Put up another video pretty soon, I expect. And you have fun out there in the sleet and the snow, and especially if you're in the US at the moment, they've had incredible weather, weather there. So that'll do. I'll be back before too long. Okay. Goodbye.